backtrack a little bit since we have some new people in our room. All right. So last day we started looking at the situation where, hey, we're multiplying a monomial with a polynomial. One bracket has just one term, the other one has got multiple terms, separated by the plus sign. And we can't just do what we just did on the quiz, right? Because the stuff inside the bracket we can't add together. They're unlike terms. So we talked about, hey, you take this monomial from the outside and you multiply it to everything in the other bracket, right? And we started off by writing that expression out. So this is the rainbow method. So it doesn't matter what side the monomial was. So we take this and we're going to do the rainbow. You're going to multiply it to everything in the bracket. So you take it and I draw this arrow. That arrow symbolizes the calculation we're going to do. So it's C times this thing here. So C times C, right? And I write this arrow down and I do this calculation now. So what is C times C? C squared. All right. Then I go and take that monomial and I multiply it to the next thing. And I have a C and a 2. What do we get? 2C. And the order we always write it down is the coefficient front first, right? 2C. Just like that. Now, we have two terms that need to be separated by a sign, a plus or a minus sign. What sign goes there? Plus, because that was a positive 2C. If it was a negative 2C, it would have been a minus. Plus. Okay? So now, let's do it one more time before showing you the other method. Take this, take this 4x, and we multiply it here. Right? And I said you didn't need to write this calculation down. If you get good enough, you can write it, just the answer. So what is 4x times 2x? So you go coefficient and coefficient. What does that give us? 8. 8. Then we go variable x and x. What does that give us? X squared. All right? Okay. Then we go do the next one. Oops, I'll change colors. Purple. Okay. Coefficient and coefficient, or constant in this case. 4 and 1. No, we are, remember we're multiplying here. It's always multiplying.
Oh, so it'd be 4x?
Close. Remember, we take that sign with it.
Negative 4x.
So negative 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So we make that negative 4, and the x has nothing to combine with, so it just remains x. Okay? So negative 4x. Now, some of you guys may not like this. This is called the rainbow method. There is another method, right? And it's called the area method, which is on the back side. We'll talk about that next. Okay? So suppose you had the question 3x times 2x plus 4, like this. What you can do is set up a little multiplication table, right? You take one of your terms from here, and we write it on the side here. So we're making a little table here, right? And then you write the other one from here along the top, 2x and 4. Okay. Now you think of this as a multiplication table. So this model takes up more space, but it's really helpful on more complicated questions. So we do this, just like a multiplication table. This times this, we write our answer in here. So 3x times 2x, what is our answer? Right? Coefficient with coefficient, variable with variable. So the 3 and the 2 gives us a 6, right? Because we're multiplying those. Oops. 6. And the x gives us a x squared. Okay? Then we have this one times this one gives us this box. 3x times 4x gives us 12x. Right? And then the stuff in the inside becomes your answer. Right? So that'd be 6x squared plus 12x, since that's a positive 12x. Right? And you got the same thing by doing the rainbow and stuff. This method comes in handy when the questions get a little bit harder. For example, let's not do this question. Let's do a different question. Let's go 4x times 3x plus 5 minus 2y. Just add an extra term into it, right? So now you could do the rainbow method, do all of these calculations, or we set up our table. So the table goes 4x here, so you write one of them there. You write your other expression along the top. And we separated terms. Remember last chapter we mentioned the word terms? It shows up so many times. So wherever there's a term, we separate it vertically, like that. Okay. So now, we just do the calculation. This times this gives us this box. So 4x times 3x, what do we write down here? 12x squared. Right? 4 and 3 gives us 12, x and x gives us x squared. Okay, middle box. 4x times 5. 20x. And it's positive, so we'll put a plus sign in there. And then we got 4x times negative 2y. What would that be? Coefficient with coefficient. Start off with that.
-8.
That gives us negative 8.
XY.
xy. This x has nothing to combine with, so it just stays x. That y has nothing to combine with, so it just stays y. So negative 8xy. Right? So then we write our answer out. 12x squared plus 20x minus 8xy. And that's it. Okay? So when you get to grade 10 next year, this question will turn to a binomial here. You'll have like more than one term here, and that's what grade 10 sort of looks like. But that's it for this year. All right? And we still have like 10 minutes left.
Free time.
Yeah. Should I give it to you guys?
Yeah, you
All right.
really should.
You can have some free time.